Welcome to this week's episode of the lineup. I'm gonna let y'all know what's coming up in the Dallas, San Antonio, Austin, Lubbock, Paris, Commerce, Greenville, Silver Springs area, so that you can kind of know what's happening with live music, concerts, whatever. Anyway, first up, I'm gonna talk about this weekend. On Friday at Cowboys Dance Hall in San Antonio, Jason Boland and the Stragglers, and let me tell you, if you're in that area and you have never seen Jason Boland perform before, you should go, because it's a great time. You can basically dance with whoever you want, have a great time. It's great. I fully recommend it. Kelly Clarkson at the Verizon Theater in Grand Prairie. I'm going to that. Personally so excited about it. Can't wait. Also in Lubbock at Wild West is Josh Abbott Band. You don't know who Josh Abbott is? That's okay. If you're in the Lubbock area, it's really cheap to get in. It's also kind of a dance hall vibe. I think it's $15. This last time that I was there, it was $15. And that's it for Friday. On Saturday, February 11th, is not much going on. Luke Bryan at Billy Bob's in Fort Worth. I personally really like Billy Bob's. It's another kind of dance hall kind of thing. I know I've said a lot of country basically, but if you're going to a country show, you need to go to where you can dance, because that's kind of the point. On Monday, the 13th, Estelle is going to be playing at the House of Blues in Dallas, and that's pretty cool. She starts at 8, and actually at 6:30 is Machine Head. I think I would kill to see the Machine Head fans and the Estelle fans mixing as they walk past each other. Weird. Totally different groups of people, I feel like. On the 14th is Trey Songz and Neo at the Verizon Theater. I think that's a really good Valentine's Day thing. If you're going on a date, if you want to see something cool, if you want to listen to love jams, I'll go to that. On the 16th at the United Spirit Arena in Lubbock, Texas, is Brad Paisley featuring the band Perry and Scotty McCreery, the American Idol winner from this year. Watched every episode of that. Still don't believe he should have won, but different story altogether. I'd like to end my episode of the lineup with a top 10 inspired by the Super Bowl. It's the top 10 Super Bowl performances, halftime performances of my lifetime. My lifetime started in 1990. The first one that I have on the list is from 1993, but that's later on the list, and I'll tell you about it later. Number 10. Oh, and by the way, I decided to do this after the Super Bowl so that I could give Madge a chance to get on the running. She barely scraped by. She's in at number 10. 2012 show, Madonna with Nicki Minaj, MIA, and CeeLo. Apart from MIA's crude gesture, it really, and Madonna's, I think there were several falls. I think they covered up one of them. There's one recorded one that everyone saw, that everyone laughed at, that I rewinded so that my friend sitting next to me could see it because she was looking at her phone or something. Apart from that, it was a pretty good show. Oh, and also, I just don't like Madonna's new song. I don't feel like it's made for a 53-year-old woman. I think it sounds more like it should be coming from a young pop star, not her. But she made a right choice bringing CeeLo out to do a prayer with her. It was awesome. I love that song. It was great. CeeLo basically made that show. I wish there had been more Nicki Minaj, because I love Nicki Minaj. At number 9 from 2009 is U2. At number 8 from 2011 is Black Eyed Peas. And I'm not a real big fan of their music. I don't really know why. I'm just not. And they have that song with Justin Timberlake. It was one of the first songs that they came out with. And I just really, really, really wanted them to bring him out for it. But of course, he's not coming back after the 2004 incident. So, down to my number 7 was Shania Twain with No Doubt and Sting. Shania comes out, does 2 songs. I think she does Man, I Feel Like a Woman and Up. And then No Doubt does a song and then does a duet with Sting. Whoever thought to mix those 3 artists, or those 2 artists in a group, I guess, because No Doubt, together, genius. It would never cross my mind to put, oh, Shania, No Doubt, those would be great together. I mean, they didn't sing together, but, I mean, they had similar tones. Like, Shania is a very upbeat performer, has amazing stage presence, comes out, looks hot, like, sings her ass off. She's great. And then Gwen Stefani's basically the same way. She always looks good, always has something different going on, and then just also has this amazing voice to go with all that. Don't even get me started on her. At number 6 is the Rolling Stones, and at number 5 is Paul McCartney. I like to call that my little British invasion. They came in at the middle of the chart. I really, really loved Paul McCartney because, I mean, who doesn't want to sit out in the crowd and listen to him sing Hey Jude? At number 4 is the scandalous Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake. I mean, there's really not much to say. I rewatched it because I hadn't seen it in a very long time, and I just could not wrap my mind around how he could have just accidentally pulled her boob out of her shirt. So I watched it again, and it doesn't look like an accident. It looks like he put his fingers in the cup of her bra and pulled. It was not a good move on his parts. At number 3 is Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, basically because my brother would not stop raving about it. He said, oh, it's the greatest. And I remember it. It was pretty good. I mean, and then I watched it again, and it was great. I love Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Different. But number 2 is Michael Jackson from 1993. Still in my lifetime. And the man is iconic, or was iconic. He's still iconic, even though he's dead. His music reaches millions of people. My speech TA told me the other day that she could talk about Michael Jackson for 6 hours, and she may have been joking when she said this, but she also said that when she came here from France, it was because of Michael Jackson. I don't know if there's truth behind that, but that lady loves him. And she's not even from here. She's from France. I mean, the amount of people he reached in different areas. He was such an interesting, amazing person. He did some weird shit. Who doesn't do weird shit? I mean, he did some, like, really weird shit, but it doesn't change that his music was so awe-inspiring. And to see him do a live performance like that, where he did Black or White, and it was just, he was just so on when he was on stage. He was on. Like, you knew he was passionate about what he was doing. That brings me to my number 1, which is the first one that I ever remember getting, like, super excited about. And, like, oh my god, Super Bowl halftime show. This is gonna be great. It was in 2001. I was at the ripe old age of 10. And it was Aerosmith and NSYNC. At 10, every girl loved NSYNC. You either loved NSYNC or you loved Backstreet Boys. And really, they could be interchangeable. They could. And it was also featuring a young Britney Spears who looked freaking hot. She looked great. Like, if she still looked like that, there'd be no question about if she was talented or not. Mary J. Blige and Nelly. Like, it just stacked group of people on that stage to perform. Aerosmith comes out, does their thing. NSYNC does their thing. They combine. They do Walk This Way. It's one of those things as you're watching it, you're like, wow, that is so cool. And you remember that you thought that, and then you go back and watch it, and you realize it's still really, really cool. Like, it was just a really good performance. And it was, that halftime was sponsored by MTV, I think. So at the beginning, it has a little skit with Adam Sandler and Ben Stiller, and it was entertaining. It had the best entertainment value. It was entertaining. Like, people watched it. It hit a younger demographic it kind of hit both, because Aerosmith, really. I mean, how many, like, 18 to 24-year-olds at that point were listening to Aerosmith? Not that many. So it kind of brought Aerosmith a little bit. They had been edging their way back into the limelight with I Don't Want to Miss a Thing and Jaded, and they performed at that Super Bowl, and just, like, they were great. I mean, obviously, they're not doing too much now with Steven Tyler on American Idol and whatever the hell else he does. But it's my favorite performance. It was great. Anyways, that is it for this week's episode of the Lineup. Come back next Tuesday, and I will post another one telling you what's going on next week, which there's a lot of stuff, so come back. I'm really excited about some of the stuff. Sneak peek, Lady Annabelle. Really excited about that. I'm going to that next week. So I'll see you next week.